Alright, I'm hanging out for a little longer, long enough to get a handful of voices, more voices heard, alright? And a quick note for all the people out there who are on this channel today is the door is wide open. Every single person on the face of the planet is welcome to come here and learn and listen, alright? But just so you know, this channel is 100% about the people who have been out here and had experiences and seen things they didn't ask us to see or experience, okay? That's who this channel's for. That's what this is about. And it's about getting their respect back and giving them a safe place to share what they saw, what they experienced without being shit on. So, if you're here and somehow you got mixed up and you think this channel's for your entertainment, you should probably look somewhere else for entertainment, because that's not what this channel's for. It's not about you here. If you have any to get pissed off that possibly you may have heard a video on here a second time, well, that should be the indicator that it's not about you. All right? I believe we had 7,000 plus new subscribers here just in the last 28 days. I'll guarantee you not all of them have heard all of the past submissions on this channel. So if the odd time I'm too busy and I can't get a fresh one out, there's going to be other ones put in place so that everybody can continually come here daily to hear the truth shared from people, right? To help each other. So, I guess that's all I was trying to get at there, was this channel is not about entertainment. It's not about you if you're coming here for entertainment, okay? Just a friendly reminder. Any complaints will drop on deaf ears, all right? This is all about the people who've had these shit-eating experiences, and they're coming here and they're getting respect back instantly here, okay? Now, what do we got? Woke to footsteps in the creek. Hello, Steve. My name is Travis Daniels. I'm 49 years old. I came across your channel about 6 months ago researching on my experience. Feel free to share my name. We're like-minded people and share the same views. This happens about 6 years ago. Never seen the Sabe beings before. I've been told by many that have and know them to be real. Here's my encounter with something. I was homeless at the time. Me and my girlfriend and my dog, Knuckles, were camped out at a creek that feeds into the Sunset Pond in Bellingham, Washington, around May that year. Note, my tent was about 3 to 4 feet from the bank of the creek. Just before nightfall, I had to ride my bike to a friend's house that prepared some food for me. I was gone about 40 minutes. Upon my returning, I crawled into my tent, got comfortable, and snuggled up next to my girl. As we lay there, she said, "I sure do love the sounds of the night." That's when I took a listen. The only sounds I could hear was the sounds of a far-off traffic and nothing else. No crickets, frogs, ducks, etc. All the usual sounds around the pond at night. I then reply, if traffic is night sounds that you like, that's different. I didn't think anything of it or how it was. It was around 11:30 p.m. We bid each other a good night and went to sleep. I was woke up sometime around 1 a.m. to heavy footfall in the creek on 2 legs. 4 of them to be exact. Splash, 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 then stopped. I was sitting straight up at that moment, contemplating on unzipping my window flap, when this thing belted out a scream that scared me shitless. The only thing I compare it to is sounding like is a dinosaur from the movies. After it screamed out, it then took flight as I could hear the flapping of huge wings. Then it belted out another scream that I couldn't hear its wings for another 30 seconds till it was out of earshot. I looked over to my girl and dog to find them still sleeping. I found that to be mind-boggling and unbelievable that Knuckles had not stirred from that thing's scream. I woke my girl and asked, "Did you hear that?" As she replied, "Hear what?" I told her what had happened. She looked at me in disbelief and told me I was dreaming. The F I was dreaming, I told her. I was woken up wide awake to that thing. As I am awake now writing this to you, I've told a few people about my experience. The only one that didn't believe me was my girl. I don't give a shit if anyone doesn't believe me. I'm not one to make shit up or lie about anything. I tell it like it is and don't hold anything back. I know what I heard and the feelings that I experienced that night. The only thing I do not know is what it really was or is. If you or anyone has any information on what it is, please let me know. Thank you, Steve, for all you do to help all the people that need to be heard. My condolences on your loss, Mr. Macaroni. Knuckles had passed on February 27th, 21, 9.5 years old. He was a blue-nosed Staffordshire Terrier Pit Bull mix. I know your loss and pain of a dear friend. Love all that you do. Stay safe. Keep up the good fight. God bless. Sincerely, Travis Daniels. Travis, sorry to hear about your dog, man. That kind of sucks. I don't know what it was you heard. I do not know what it was you heard, but maybe somebody does. Possibly. Somebody might have been in the same area. You never know. I don't know. And if they did, keep an eye on the comment section below, and we'll encourage them to comment there, all right? And try not to email me, because it just stacks up the email inbox. I think it'd probably be better off if you want to address a video that you've seen on this channel, drill away into the comment section below. And hopefully the people whose emails that were read, keep a sharp eye on the comment section below, their video being read as well, too, okay? Be safe out there, man. I hope you get some answers. Oh my God, I want to go fishing. There's another one. It's endless. Missouri encounter. Dear Steve, my name is Lisa. I live in west central Missouri, Saline County. Either Saline or Saline County. Listening to your channel and all the emails sent to you, I feel compelled to share because I know I won't be laughed at or called crazy. In the summer 2018, my husband and I were fishing off an inlet off the Missouri River in a conservation area. Within this inlet is a very tall island, so to speak, very tall with tree roots growing out everywhere, and it's straight up and down. At dusk, from what seemed out of nowhere, we see a square-looking rock about the size of a bowling ball shoot straight out, 4 to 5 feet from the top of that island, and go and kaboom drop into the water. We just stood there listening. We heard nothing before or after this happened. We seen no one. We smelled nothing either, but clearly something with hands threw it. No other boots or people around it. Was just as two. We told 2 people, relatives, and they said we were crazy. Another thing is, about 10 miles from where we were fishing is a state park. Now, this state park and conservation area were once inhabited by our First Nations people. Okay, so we got to this park often over many years. I'm 52 and my husband's 49. After the rock incident, I started having panic attacks whenever we entered this one certain area in the park. It's all woodland with some trails. This area has no trail. I can't go in there. Everyone else can go without any issues, but I can't. It's just this one area? I have 2 more incidents that have happened, but it'll have to wait. I'm getting emotional about it right now. So I'll send this and try again tomorrow. Steve, I watch every day. I love what you're doing and how you handle yourself. Please promise us all out here who care about you that you'll remain careful, because I think we need you. Lisa A. Davies. Lisa, appreciate it. You're possibly more in tune with your sixth sense than most. You never know, right? I think we're starting to realize that a lot of us exist and our energy vibrates possibly at a different level, different speeds, different heights, whatever you want to call it. And that may be why you have a heightened awareness to what's going on in that particular area, right? Whatever the case, whatever it is, if your gut, you've heard me say it a million times, if your gut's telling you it's off, it's off. If your gut's telling you not to go there, don't go there. That means for you, right? Your gut's not speaking for all the other people, it's speaking to you. Listen to it. And if your gut tells you not to go somewhere, you don't go there, okay? Damn helicopters. Thanks for sending that in. Again, and if you come across any more information that'll assist the people, you get it into us, all right? And you be safe out there. Iowa experience changes my mind. That's not a uncommon theme title. People's minds getting changed. Here we go. Hello, Mr. Steve. My name is Jim. First listened to your channel a couple years ago. You're telling a story about a grizzly bear experience you had while guiding. As an avid outdoorsman and archery hunter myself, I was intrigued by it, so I'd occasionally start listening to your shared experiences. I later heard about your first Sabe interaction and thought to myself, okay. And since I had never gotten the feeling you were telling tall tales before, I took it with a grain of salt and listened. Even though I'd never paid much attention to the subject in the past, I'd always assumed that these stories were for entertainment. But as I listened to you, a memory of a hunting show I was watching years ago came back to me. It was an episode of Easton Bow Hunting TV with Fred Eckler. He had set up a trail camera while bear hunting in Colorado, I believe. Not 100% on what he was hunting or where, but that's what I thought I remembered. Anyway, he had mentioned he felt like he'd been watched. He was being watched the entire time. Upon reviewing the trail cam footage, they witnessed what appeared to be the lower legs of a muscular bipedal something. Stopped, then passed on the edge of the frame, and he showed that clip. At first I thought, WTF. There is some dumbass out there trying to pull a prank on them. Although it would have been to be a pretty ballsy dumbass to be walking around in a furry costume during bear season. Fred just made the statement. I'm not saying what it is. I'm just saying it was creepy. Or something along those lines. So after listening to your experience, I thought, okay, maybe this is only a mountain habitat thing, if at all. And I just left it at that. Fast forward January 2020, southwest Iowa, in the Loess Hills, pronounced Loess Hills, overlooking the Missouri River. I'm reviewing my trail cam clips and have one clip timestamped at 2 a.m. in which a light is moving smoothly along the edge of a tree line. The camera is positioned about 5 yards inside the tree line, facing down a trail that heads out into the field. The light, which at the time I assumed was a trespasser's headlamp, was moving smoothly out along the field edge, not bouncing or moving up and down. Once the light was close to the right side of the video screen, it stopped for a second, then disappeared. The thing I thought was weird was that I couldn't see any body, shape, or legs of a would-be trespasser. It was only a light moving slowly from left to right, then off. I watched it about 10 times, trying to pick up and identifying features, and identifying features, then deleted it. I think I couldn't tell who it was, so no point in keeping the clip. Jump ahead to August 2020, about 3 p.m. I just left the same property and was in a hurry as I was running late. I was about a mile down the road when I crested a small hill and saw something big dart from the fence on the right side of the road through what I thought was waist-high grass about 10 yards into the thick trees and brush. I thought, what the heck? I slammed on the brakes, thinking the neighbor's Angus bull was loose and I had gotten spooked by my sudden crest of the rise. The whole time thinking, I didn't know a bull could move that quick. Mind you, I grew up around cattle and have first-hand knowledge of how fast they can move when they want to. Anyway, this thing darted so quickly into the trees that I might have thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. If it hadn't been for the branches and small trees still swaying a bit as I came to a stop right next to where it had gone in. I stopped on the road right there, windows down, and listened for crashing through the trees so I could get a direction on where it was headed, in case I had to let the neighbor know. I couldn't hear anything crashing, so I quickly put the truck in park, shut it off, and jumped out to listen closely. Steve, the only thing I could hear was my feet hit the dirt on the ground. I instantly got an uneasy feeling as I leaned on the hood of my truck and listened. Not dread or fear, just uneasy. I thought, well, I'm running late, I better get going anyway, and jumped back in and headed out. The next time I was out there a couple days later, I stopped to take a closer look at where the bull had disappeared into the brush. I got out and climbed over the fence. The grass was much taller than I thought it was, up to my lower chest. I thought to myself, dang, that bull is bigger than most. I didn't bother going any further because in my mind at the time it was the neighbor's bull, and this shit is thick, thorny, and full of ticks. About a week later, I stopped and talked to the neighbor and his wife because they were working in the field by my gate. While visiting with them, I asked them if they had any cattle get loose because I thought I had seen their bull across the road from the property. They said no, it wasn't theirs. Then the wife asked, are you sure it wasn't a Sasquatch? I chuckled a little bit, thinking she was joking around. She continued to say that's right next to where another old neighbor had driven into the ditch, claiming while swerving to miss hitting one, crossing the road in front of him. I saw the look on her face not change much. I just kind of raising an eyebrow with a half a smirk, trying not to insult her, I said, well, it was big and dark and fast. I looked at her husband, and he was just nodding, looking at the ground, and kind of kicking the mud off his heel like all farmers do, and they don't want to comment on something. Knowing I'm an avid hunter and I have cameras all over those hills and woods, she asked if I'd heard or gotten any pictures of any mountain lions yet. I said no, not yet, but I know people who have claimed to see them, and a buddy who has a trail cam pics of two about 2 hours north. She continued to tell me how they were outside one night and could hear what sounded like just like a woman screaming bloody murder. They couldn't figure out what the heck it was. I said I've seen and heard bobcats screaming, but it wasn't nothing like what they were describing. She went on to tell me that the old neighbor that drove into the ditch and had shared his experience had faced ridicule from others and since moved. Also, someone had filmed some Bigfoot show down there looking for evidence. I smiled and listened respectfully through the whole interaction, as I like and respect my neighbors. I also let them know that if I see anything, mountain lion or otherwise, that I'd let them know. Jump ahead, late October 2020, pre-dawn one morning, while walking down into a bottom as quiet as possible with no light on, using only the moonlight on the way to my tree stand. I was about a quarter mile from where I parked my truck and about a quarter mile from my stand. All of a sudden, two loud bangs erupted on the ridge across from me, to my left and left of the direction I was heading. It was loud and it caught me off guard, causing me to jump. It sounded like it was about 200 yards away. I thought, what the F? This is up there shooting at 22 before sunrise. A little pissed off that someone may have ruined my hunt before it got started, I stood and I listened. After not hearing anything for about 30 seconds, I convinced myself that maybe it'll help drive deer to my stand that was up and over the ridge straight ahead of me. So I quickly continued down my trail. I made maybe 10 steps when another bang sounded off. This time it sounded like just the crack of a dry piece of hardwood. I thought someone can see me and is effing with me. Though I don't know how, because even if they had night vision, the trees were so thick on that ridge it would be nearly impossible during full daylight to see me from there. This time I stopped, squatted down, and listened intently. After about 2 minutes and not hearing so much as a twig snap, I said to myself, "F it, I'm hunting anyway." Steve, the instant I stood up to continue my walk, another crack rang out. At this point, I'm effing pissed. I throw the middle finger salute in their direction, say quietly to myself, "You better not cross onto my side of the fence." Then I continued my walk with the hopes that the commotion would just drive deer further my way. Made it to my stand, quietly climbed up, and settled in. Needless to say, I didn't hear or see a single sign of life all morning, not so much as a squirrel, which is very odd for this stand. Normally I'm constantly bombarded with the sounds of squirrels scurrying everywhere in this location. The only thing I noticed was the feeling of being observed all morning. After 4 hours, I headed back out with no other odd noises or experiences. I'm not saying any of my odd experiences are related to Sabe people, but my odd experiences that I've tried to explain to myself and can't quite get those pieces to fit sure do seem to fit nicely into the puzzle of others' claims to Sabe. Since I don't know, and have any proof of the contrary, I'm open to listening to all information. P.S. Not to change topic, but it needs to be said about all information and listening to others' experiences. Steve, sorry for this, but we, the public here in the U.S., were told by our leading doctor that we didn't need to wear masks. Then it was shut down for 15 days to slow the spread. Then it was now wear masks. Then it was definitely natural virus based on science. Then it was wear 2 masks or more. Then it was get the vaccine so you're safe, and if you do, then you don't need to wear masks. Then it was it is possible the virus escaped from a lab where scientists had not been studying gain of function. Then it was, well, they may have been studying gain of function, but we definitely didn't know about it and didn't fund anything of the sorts. Then it was, well, we funded the lab, but for other reasons. Then it was the virus, most likely escaped accidentally from the lab, and we are being as transparent as possible, and there is no cover-up going on. Now it's put your mask back on, even if you're vaccinated. Get another vaccine, and keep everything shut down to prevent the spread of the deadliest virus in history. It has a survival rate of 99.8%. And it's all for your own good. Never mind the amount of control, power, and money the same doctor and others have acquired this past year. PPS. I've had COVID as well as several other people I know. I took the advice of a medical doctor whose video was soon removed from the internet. I took zinc, vitamin D, and washed it down with quinine water, aka tonic water. I felt tired and had a headache for 2 days. Other than a couple funny smells here and there, that was the full extent of my symptoms. No one else I know who has had COVID has been hospitalized, thank God. That being said, I know many more people whom have been vaccinated. Some have had little or side effects similar to my COVID experience. But I know 2 people who had the very scary side effects to the vaccine. One friend who was bedridden for 2 weeks after the vaccine, and another lost sensation in her fingers and toes for a while. And she has some numbness in her toes. I'm sharing with you only what I have seen firsthand. People listening should do what they feel is right for them. Look into it themselves. Don't just trust people who have lied repeatedly in the past based on their word. I'd better stop there because I'm pretty sick of the bald-faced lies being spread, and I'm getting myself fired up. An enormous thank you, and thank God for men and women like you, Steve, who are brave enough to look people in the eyes and tell them that you will speak your truths and there's nothing they can do to stop you. There are many of us out here, and we will stand beside you and fight for what is right, when or if the need arises. You may not want to read this part out loud, but on a personal note, if I had been laying in a hospital bed fighting for my life with barely enough strength, lift my fingers to type an email, the email sure as shit wouldn't be to some guy on YouTube blaming him for me getting sick. I would spend my last bits of strength telling the people in life just how much I love them. Just saying that's what I would be doing. Get well soon, Drew. Okay. Thanks for that email, man. Thanks for that email, Jim. And for all you who might have been confused in that last paragraph, is about that guy who snapped a blue gasket a while back, attempting to lay blame on me and David Plattis for, I think, what they said, whatever. They said they were laying in bed dying of COVID and had a couple hours to live, and it was my fault. I think Dave's fault too or something, I don't know. There's some kooky people out there, man. Kooky people. There's far more people that aren't kooky than are, right? We all got to stick together. We all got to fight together and take back the. We got to take back the narrative. We have to implement common sense, responsible decisions, right? And the people who are coming up with and laying down irresponsible decisions, and the yeah. All right, I gotta get going. That's enough talking to a damn camera today. I got lots done. I got last of my turkeys processed. That was pretty cool. Unfortunately, there's a big turkey shortage, I guess, in the public stores. That sucks. But anyway, I'm gonna get going. Everybody take care out there and be safe. And if you can't fight back, if there's nothing else you can do, at least do this. At least do a little research and try to trace it back to the original people who are coming up with the very irresponsible decisions and getting them imposed and inflicted on us. At least you can do that. Trace it back. Run it back. Run it back. Trace it back to the original persons who are coming up with dirty, filthy ideas to impose on the people, and they're getting those ideas imposed on us, and we got to stop it. We got to stop those people. We have to out them. We have to show their faces and their names and go after them with a vengeance, because that's what they're doing to us. All right? Many people are going to ask, why? Why'd you do that? Because that is what they are doing to us, and they're successful at it. They're financially annihilating innocent people in our countries, our people. Okay? We don't do that here.